All right, folks, here we are. It is Facebook Friday from Southeastern Fertility. We don't have Linda or Dr. Gordon with us today, but I'm going to steal a page from the Dr. Gordon playbook of last week. I sort of like being the disembodied voice as the host. You don't need to see me. You've seen enough aging guys with gray hair and nose hair and neck hair, and their best days are behind them, so you really don't need to see that. But what you do need to see are our two featured guests for today. We've got Taylor, our front office manager, and Kristy Jones, our patient benefits coordinator. And today we are going to get to know these ladies who greet you so well at the front desk just a little bit better. We want to plug into their lives a little bit. And so the big question I have for both of you, again, I'm going to steal a page out of the Dr. Gordon playbook from last week when he asked the embryology team, why did you get into embryology? I want to talk to each of you about why you got into what you got into. So Taylor, we'll start with you just because you've been here longer. Why did you decide to get into front office management?
Honestly, I don't really know. I went to college and I started out as pharmacy technician, and things just happened, and I ended up doing a medical office class instead, and that's what I went with, and it just blossomed from there. I've been here a little over 4 years. So really, it just kind of fell into place. It was meant to be, and I am here.
All right.
That's all I really know.
Well, that's honest. Now, and Kristy, you handle so many of our new patients, and you help them with their questions about benefits and everything. Tell me how you decided to get into this line of work.
Well, I knew I just wanted to be in the medical field, and I had worked in an emergency department in Alaska prior to moving here a little over a year ago. And then when I learned about the fertility position or working for a fertility clinic, I just kind of felt like it was my calling, because I myself was a patient of infertility, and honestly, I love my job. I wouldn't have it any other way. I just enjoy it. I used to work for insurance companies, so I know how that works. I can help patients with that. And I just love people and our patients and what they're going through, and I can heartfelt say I've walked in their shoes. And so it's just a nice addition to being able to assist our patients as they come in for their infertility journey.
Yeah, and you both do a great job. And I know the Southeastern fertility folks who are watching this and who've been in the office would say the same thing. I'm not just blowing your smoke. You both do a great job. But you're sort of a team. It's sort of like one of you is incomplete without the other. It's sort of a Jerry Maguire, you complete me sort of thing. The odd couple, I would say. So I want to ask you some questions about your relationship, as weird as that sounds. It shouldn't sound funny. But let's ask some insightful questions. If you could change something about the other, what would it be? Taylor?
How loud Kristy is. I'm constantly, if you're on the phone with Kristy, I'm in the background saying, Kristy, and she's like,
well, she actually has a sign on her computer to remind her.
I was raised in my defense, I was raised with deaf parents. My parents literally were deaf. Sign language was my first language. My dad, even my stepdad, was actually hard of hearing, but mostly deaf. We signed, but with my stepdad, I could talk with him, but I was competing against Jeopardy every night in the news. And to communicate as siblings, we were very loud, and I don't realize I am half the time. So I made a sign. I've got my reminder, and I do my best, but you always know when Kristy is speaking. I won't lie. So.
Well, I share your pain. I feel your pain because I have the same problem. I have a voice that carries, and a wife who's constantly on me about how loud it is, and she thinks I'm yelling. I'm not trying to yell, but it's a loud, sharp voice, and I apologize for God making me that way. So Kristy, let's now turn the question to you. What would you change about Taylor if you could?
Honestly, she does so much. Like when we're here in the office and we don't have kids that kind of take us away from the office, she doesn't delegate very well. I wish she would delegate because she tries to do too much on her own, and I'm available, especially when I've got my tasks at hand completed. I feel like I could assist her a little bit more so it doesn't feel so heavy. So I think that's it. I would just delegate.
What can I take off of you? What can I take off?
I know. What can I help you with? What can I help you with? And she was like,
OCD.
I got it. I got it. Yeah, she's OCD. She had to mention it. She is OCD. She's constantly wiping and cleaning, which is a good thing, especially with events at hand. But But I just wish that she would, just delegate a little bit so I could help her because I know she's overwhelmed sometimes. So.
Well, okay, so now let's ask another question. What do you like best about your workmate? Kristy, I'll start with you this time.
You know what? She's just hilarious. I feel like we've got similar situations as far as our kids. And we communicate really well when it comes to our patients and their needs. And I like that because yes, we have a job to do. We work for the company, but we also have a heart for our patients. And if she's forgetful or I'm forgetful about what's going on in the office, we work well to remind each other about our patients and their needs. And so I love that about us. So.
Okay, that's good. Taylor, what about you?
Same way, and how good she is about getting new patients in and scheduling appointments and always checking with me before she makes a decision, and we just are a good team together.
Well, now, okay, just a couple last questions. Can you remember a time when the other came through in the clutch? Can either of you remember a time? Can you describe a time when your workmate came through in the clutch and you remembered how much you appreciate?
Trying to figure out who we're talking about, or if we remember something and we don't remember who the patient is, one of us knows.
And I've got to add, kind of on a personal note, like we're able to assist each other, and for some reason our kids and our schedules, we're able to balance each other. Like when I'm out with a sick child or appointments or whatever, it doesn't interfere with her. Same thing with her. When she's got a sick child, whatever, we work together. There's pretty much always going to be someone here that can assist our patients. And I like that we're compatible that way as well. So.
This is really good. So that being said, since you're doing such a good job, I'll only make you sit through or stand through one more question. Let's pretend it's the last day on Earth that you are ever going to see each other. You're never going to be able to talk to each other again. You're never going to be able to see each other in person again. What would you say to your workmate? What would your parting words be?
I don't know.
Look at her and say...
Print the schedules, Kristy. Print the schedules. Like I said yesterday, guess what Kristy didn't do? She called me at 7:30 this morning and said I forgot to print the schedules.
True story. I can't deny it. Can't deny it. Can't deny it.
So that's the last thing you'd say. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what I would say. I'm going to tell you to print the schedules for the last thing. I don't know.
Well, for me, I hope it wouldn't be that we couldn't be in communication with each other, but if we couldn't,
Well, it's a pretend scenario.
I know, but I would just want her and her family to be happy and for her to be successful in whatever she does.
It's too bad she wouldn't want the same thing for you. That's
schedules.
wow.
Thank you, Taylor.
She had an opportunity to say something nice like that, and she didn't.
I
Well,
was just joking with her because when she was out for 3 weeks, I kept forgetting to print the schedules. So I was like, print the schedules.
I still forgot.
well, these two may be the odd couple, but they do make a terrific team. They serve our patients well, and this has been fun, getting to know the two of you and the dynamic, why you work so well together. So thanks for taking the time on this Facebook Friday. I think it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Gordon will be back next week, so you'll see him and Linda then. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. October is here. It is the best month of the year, so enjoy it, everybody. All right, talk to you later.